Welcome to the Brothers in Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. I'm your host, Ian Williams.
And I'm Sherrod Ledet.
And I'm Shante Price, and together we are the Brothers.
And we are privileged to bring you a special guest who's going to bring the influence. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like that intro, man. That was cool.
Appreciate it, man.
I dig that.
And we're glad. I'm so happy and excited to have our first guest to the season 3 of the Brothers in Influence podcast, my man Antoine North, also known as the NorthStar, native to Gary, Indiana, a Navy vet. Thank you for your service, sir.
You're welcome.
Background in graphic design, photography, offset press, and printing. He might describe himself as a serial entrepreneur, currently CEO of a company called Friday Viral, an online marketing company. Currently promoting his $7 entrepreneur program, which is 3 principles all entrepreneurs need to progress and succeed in their business. He's also an expert of many things, but he's also an expert in the crypto arena, particularly DeFi, which stands for Decentralized Finance. And I could try to explain all that to you, but I probably wouldn't do it justice. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Antoine North.
Yes. Hello. How are you? I am NorthStar, and everyone that I know calls me NorthStar. I even introduce myself to everyone as NorthStar because everyone knows me as NorthStar. Everything online, no matter what I talk about, what I'm producing, presenting, I always say I'm NorthStar. So just to clarify for those out there who are watching, if you see me, call me NorthStar, not Antoine, because I will answer NorthStar versus Antoine just on the strength, because people who call me Antoine are like my mom, my grandmother, my aunt,
right?
So, a couple of friends, but other than that, everybody calls me NorthStar. So I'm just saying, just for the sake of, I will answer NorthStar. That's all I'm saying. So.
Yes, sir. And if there's any doubt, I know that I can vouch. My man is genuine. I remember when he and I first met, he introduced himself as NorthStar.
Right.
And you're definitely a highlight in my entrepreneurial journey in our community down here in Southern Indiana. So, my brother, tell us something interesting about yourself, man. Tell us. I listed off a lot of interesting facts, but give us a little exclusives. Tell us something that most people don't know.
Okay, so to make this interesting for you all, how about I started off with something that will probably shock a lot of you. So I did 13 years in federal prison, and the reason why I'm leading with that is because I usually do that when I talk to people, especially when I meet new people. I don't just say, hey, I've been in prison, but the reason why I share that experience is because it was a very large part of my life for a long time, because I did so much time, and it was a pivotal transitional period for me because I had to, dig deep within myself and make some hardcore decisions. And it was also the place where I actually learned who I was as a individual human being, right? To really search, how they say, search the soul and learn thyself and things like that, or know thyself. That's what I did while I was in there. So I was able to educate myself in a lot of different things, and then take what I learned and basically how is the term, convert that into something tangible, something actually realistic, which is the reason why I'm in the position that I'm in now, and why I have a company, why I'm able to progress within my business, and why I'm sitting right here on this podcast right now today. So that's the interesting thing. If you want to know anything, that's it. I got a lot of interesting things to say, but that by far is probably the most interesting thing. So
wow, man, right out the gate dropping bombs, my brother. Listen, man, we appreciate your transparency, man. And I can just imagine how many people would be inspired by your story and your journey. I'm just wondering, when is the book going to come out, bro?
You know what, man? That's a good question, because it's ironic that you say that, because I mean, a lot of people have told me that I should write a book, and I mean, emphasize that I should really write a book, because, like, especially like with the stories that I tell, or like when I talk about certain, philosophical thinking and spiritual things and things like that, people are like, man, you should write a book. I'm like, well, okay, one day I will, but as of right now, I don't. But I guess since you asked, maybe I should weigh a little bit more in on that, because I do a lot of writing anyway, but I just haven't never taken the time to really like focus in on that and detail those things. But at some time in the future, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it. I just don't know when. I haven't like made the decision
Yes, sir.
Make that a thing yet.
Well, listen, I'll be one of the first people in line when you do, bro. I'll be one of the first people in line. And,
let me say this. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but first off, I want to say I appreciate the fact that I'm the first guest of, what is this, season 2? You said
it's season 3.
Season 3. I'm sorry. Okay, so I appreciate that, being number 1 of season 3. So thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, a lot of what we do on the Brothers Influence podcast is we really reflect on the power of our stories.
Okay.
And often what we find is like, it's the power of a story is what can change a person's heart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely want to encourage you, man. I'm looking forward to the day that NorthStar publishes, comes out, man, with all the lessons and the wisdom that he has, the value he has to add to the world, man. That's a medium, that can reach further than any one person can do on their own. So,
right.
Just want to encourage you, brother, because it's in there. I know it's in there. I see it.
Okay.
So as NorthStar, as the man, the myth, the legend, the persona, digital marketer extraordinaire, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, now that is a good question. What keeps me up at night? Failure.
Okay.
Failure. And okay, so let me clarify what I mean by that. I'm not afraid to fail, because failure is a prerequisite to success, right? And failing does not mean that something didn't work, right? Failure is like, for instance, you set out to achieve a thing, but maybe you couldn't achieve it for various reasons, right? So now you have to, if you're still trying the same thing, you have to like readjust, modify, whatever it takes for that, okay? Mm-hmm. Failure comes in many different forms. So let's say if you wanted to make $1 million, but you only made 100,000, right? You fell short of $1 million, so you technically failed to make $1 million. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm not afraid to fail, whether something works or doesn't work to the magnitude that I feel like it should or think it should. Why failure keeps me up at night is because when I think about my present moment and what I see for myself in the future moments, the connection, that bridge between the present moment and the future moment is the unknown, because you don't know how things are going to take shape in between those, right? Especially when you feel like maybe you might be lacking something, or maybe sometimes you may just feel like even though you're working towards it, the progress that you want to make, you may not necessarily see it materializing. So you have to be conscious of what's going on around you. And that's what I mean about failure, why that keeps me up, because I think about that consistently, not failing itself, but what does that look like if I'm not able to accomplish a thing, And the thing is that, let me say this, you're always able to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. You may just not accomplish it at the time that you want to accomplish it. That's the thing. So I always relate everything to nature, because nature is our greatest teacher, right? Because when before a baby is born, it takes a scale, a measure of 9 months for that baby to develop within the mother, and then it's born, and then it begins to experience life from the time that it's born up until adulthood, and then through adulthood and death, right? So each and every moment is a stage that it has to go through, and everything that you do in life is the same exact way. It's like, if you hold up an acorn, that's an oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold a seed, an apple seed, a pear for seed for a pear tree, tomatoes, potatoes, whatever, right? All of those things, no matter what it is, nature always shows you what's required to materialize something. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say I always relate everything to nature, because anytime that I feel like something is not going to be, or it's taking too long, I always revert back to nature and remind myself, like, everything has a process. It takes time. So, I just have to remind myself of that. So that's what keeps me up at night is that thought about the unknown in between the present moment and the future moment.
Wow. Yeah, man, we already waist deep out here on the podcast. No, we love it though. This is where we operate. We talk about failure quite a bit on the podcast from the standpoint of, we said in the intro, we stand to encourage and inspire in the areas of life, leadership, and community. What does failure look like in that context? We try to speak to our audience and really relate to each other and ourselves as whole persons. And so, how we navigate failure, because it's inevitable, right? We're human beings.
Exactly.
It's gonna come at some point, no matter how good I got, or how talented, or how skilled, gifted, etc. No matter how hard I practice, at some point I'm going to fall short.
Right.
And so, one of the questions we often pose is like, how does failure define your character?
To answer that, it's really up to you, right? People in general don't really realize that you're not defined by a moment, you define the moment.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for those of you watching that may not really comprehend the depth of that, I'll share this with you. A lot of times we feel like life is like the wind, and as a person, is like a leaf. So we just get blown around every which way, right? But the truth is that life is like the wind, and we are like a rock. And because we don't see ourselves as the rock, we feel like the force of the wind has control of us, when in fact we, as a rock, like a mountain, right, cut the wind. Because when the wind hits us, it swirls around us. It doesn't push us over unless we allow it to, because you have different size rocks. So what size rock are you? That's the thing why I say that you're not defined by the moment, you define the moment. So you have to decide, like, are you like just a pebble? Are you a large rock? Are you a boulder? Or are you a mountain? And that choice is completely up to you, because it's all, your perception and how you handle every particular circumstance that you find yourself in. And that's how you define the moment. And that's why moments are defined by you, and you're not defined by the moment.
Oh, bro, I love it. Hope you don't mind. I'm over here taking notes, man. Because
I mean,
dropping jewel after jewel.
Yeah,
dropping jewel after jewel.
That's why we share these things like this,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, just to pivot a little bit, because I want to make sure that we also we not only tap into your worldly wisdom, but also get a bit of your business acumen as well.
Okay.
We can stay in the deep end all day. I can feel it.
Hey, I'm with it, man. Whichever way you want to take it, it's all good to me.
So as an online digital marketer, man, tell me about how you add value in the business arena, or what is your top strategy?
Okay, so That is a very okay, so my answer is going to be a bit obscure. All right.
Okay.
So
yeah, you can't give it all away, so don't, you know.
No. I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight because I don't
Okay.
mind sharing these things, right? Because see, here's the thing, man. This is what I learned about being in this world of online marketing. Okay, is that it's all about perception. Everything is always about perception, no matter what it is that you do. Okay, and you can come across genuine, be as genuine as possible, but your presentation means everything. Okay, so you have to figure out and find ways to be unique, because like, look, you know, anyone who's in business, especially in today's age, you have to be online. Okay, so whether you are a company that actually is an online business, or your business just, you know, uses the online outlet, a lot of stuff has to come through several different mediums. One is video, which is the leader, and then you have, like, you know, static images, and then also text, right? And then there's various technologies for you to use around that to be able to hold the attention of your audience, and to gain the interest of clients, right? So part of what I do is I actually experiment all the time, like with new stuff, old stuff. You know, I will plug different things together, you know, to see what works, what doesn't work, right? And this is how I come up with different strategies. So, like, say for instance, I've actually created a lot of different things on my own, based off of things that I learned from other people online, right? So like, somebody will say, oh, this method, that method, this, and then as I'm using that method, then I'll discover some new stuff because of all the experimentation that I'm doing myself, right? So for me to deliver things, I'll learn as much as I can about any particular platform. That means I'll spend like an enormous amount of time using something to learn as much nuance about it as I can, because I feel that in order for me to reach you, right, I can't do everything the same way everybody else is doing it, because then what's going to happen is that you're just going to see the same thing, right, because it's presented in the same way. But if I come across a little differently, or maybe I, you know, create something unique, then it'll stand out, it'll capture your attention. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's what I do. I use, matter of fact, let me say this, and this will sum it up. So I take the skills that I currently have, right? Because I am a graphic designer. So I use my graphic designing skills to do unique things to capture people's attention. I don't just try to make stuff flashy. Like, for instance, whether you know it or not, right? You can have something that looks beautiful. I mean, super clean, right? And people will entertain that. But what I've learned is that the dirtier or more rugged something is, the more attention it gets.
The dirtier or more rugged something is.
Yeah. The more attention it gets online. Because, see, you got to think about the psychology of people online. Clean stuff comes across as an ad, right, or something for sale. Things that are like dirty or rugged are more natural. Like, when I say dirty, I'm saying, like, for instance, if I took out my phone and I'm just like sitting at the mall or in my office or at a restaurant, and I just start talking to you, and I'm like, yeah, see my food, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm up in Vegas, and you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the dirty, rugged part, because it's no editing, it's no like, if you mess up something, or if you say a lot of ahs and all that type of stuff, you see what I'm saying? So people connect with that because that's more nature based. You get what I'm saying? So like, if you try to keep things scripted to like perfect and all that stuff, it comes across in a different way. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So I do things both ways. I'll do stuff that's crisp and clean, right? Because that serves a specific purpose. And I also do most of the stuff I do is on the rugged, dirty side, because I understand that in order for me to reach an audience, right, I have to reach them in the way that they're receptive to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you're watching, if you tapped in with us, NorthStar just dropped a major jewel in online marketing. As you know, many of us are wanting to get ourselves established and share our story, share our message, share our products and services, gain some and build an audience. And we often think that it requires us to have some sort of polished presentation. But as NorthStar just said, that's not the case. In fact, as he called it, the dirty and the rugged.
Yeah.
Right? Just pull out your phone and share your expertise, add value, and that is what helps you connect.
May I add something to that?
It comes across real and genuine. Go ahead.
Okay, so just to add to that, right? As a catalyst, start with what you have and start where you're at, or use what you have and just run with that. Okay. So when I say start with what you have and start where you're at, that means like if you're getting started. But if you're already someone who's doing something and you really want to connect with your audience and grow your audience, just use what you have. Don't try to be so professional with everything in every way, because nobody really cares about that in the sense that you might think that they do. But I'm gonna tell you this though. This is one thing that I'm telling you that is going to help you in the long run. The longer you do something, the more you have to show progress in what you're doing. So at some point in time, you're going to have to polish it up a bit. You know what I mean? Because people like to see extension. Like if they've been rocking with you for 2 years.
Yep.
But let's say 2 years later, they haven't really seen you like move up, and they're trying to move up, they're going to move away. So you have to, over time, show extension, because then they feel like, okay, yeah, they're moving along and it's moving me along. But if you're still stuck in the same place, looking the same way, doing the same thing, then they're going to be like, oh, well, I'm not getting no more out of this person any longer,
Come on,
so that's important,
What I'm hearing you say is be authentic and demonstrate growth.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Be authentic and demonstrate growth. You put that better than I could have said.
I know, that's what you said, bro.
Yeah.
That's just the coach. That's Coach Ian coming out right there.
Okay.
Yeah, be authentic and demonstrate growth, man. And listen, like I said, these are major keys in the online space. We have with us NorthStar, expert online digital marketer. He's dropping jewels. Not only did he put us on game in life, but he put us on game in the online space. If you're looking to build your influence, reach an audience, become an influencer, or just get your product and your service and your message out there, listen to the last 15 minutes of this podcast and you have everything you need to get started. But man, I've got quotables. Like, I've been taking notes. Failure does not mean something didn't work, right? You're not defined by the moment. You define the moment, right? It's your response to failure that defines you and the situation. And use what you have and start where you at. Be authentic and demonstrate growth. Come on, man. We can wrap up right. We can wrap up right here, bro.
It's up to you, man. I mean, I can keep going. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm full of this type of stuff, man. Because I live this day by day.
I'm just really excited. Listen, I think what this proves to me is that this shouldn't be the last time we have you on the podcast.
Okay.
Because you have so much to offer. And so, just to circle back to that book, man, I'm telling you, that's a medium. Get that story out there.
Okay. Sprinkle
in that wisdom, and the level of understanding that you have really can reach and touch a lot of people.
Okay.
It really can. So, I think we've packed this with so much good information. I do want to go ahead and start to wrap it up, but I don't want to cut the flow off completely. So I want to ask you in your own words, now that you have you're an honorary brother of of the podcast.
Okay.
What do you say, brothers and influence? When you saw that, or when you reflect on it even now, what does it mean to you?
To me, it speaks to impact, right? Positive impact. Like, I mean, okay, so let's focus on the word first about influence, because we influence things in whether it's positive or negative ways, right? But when you say brothers and influence, the brothers part, because brothers actually stand for unity. Because when somebody says you're my brother, whether you're blood or by like choice, meaning I choose you to be my brother, if I call you my brother, that means that there is a unification between us, right? And it's a spoken but unspoken bond that we both inherently understand. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So when you combine the two words and you put brothers of influence, right, that means that we are a unified front of positive influence. That's what I get out of it. That's what it says to me. So like as we're here on this podcast, we're putting positivity out in the universe that others are going to receive, and they're going to, capture what they feel is valuable to them, and then they're going to say it to somebody else because we put it out there for them. So to me, brothers in influence is exactly that.
Yes, sir, man. I just have to say, bro, you did us justice there. I appreciate that. I mean, you started off with impact, and then just the wisdom just continued to flow. That's exactly the heart of the podcast. That's the heart of the work of every brother that's actually affiliated with the work. And I appreciate you coming and bringing your influence, bringing your positivity, and helping us to make an impact.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Is this, have you all considered building a network? As okay, so brothers of influence, I know that it's what, 3 of you all, right, together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but have you considered, because I'm gonna tell you, man, when you first told me about it, that's what I thought it was. Like some sort of network where somebody is like, yeah, I'm a part of the brothers of influence. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So have y'all considered building that out like that, or is it, this a brand new concept that I just threw out to you, or what?
Hey, man, he putting our business on the street, but no.
Oh, okay.
No. It's perfect. It's perfect because when I feel like I was given this vision, and I knew it was something larger than me. Okay. Right. And so I see like this is a medium and a platform that we're leveraging to make the connections. But I know and believe that it can evolve into so much more. And so for you to say that, it only affirms that belief and understanding, right? Because when you talk about a vision, it's usually something big and grand, right? And so I don't go around just telling everybody like this is my vision for brothers of influence, right. But you really are tapped in, and it just shows me how connected you are. Maybe how solid this work that I'm sowing into, that we're sowing into, is that it has the potential to be something like a network. And honestly, it's not something that I hadn't considered, but to hear you say it actually just, it kind of lifts, it's edifying. You're building this up. So we hope to add value to you by giving you space and having you share your story. But usually what ends up happening is reciprocal, bro. You're adding just as much or more value to me. And so I'm just grateful for you being here, brother.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. I really do.
Yes, sir. And I know, like, when we were talking offline, you said, we have an idea what kind of questions I'm gonna ask. But you said you was gonna speak from the heart, and you spent the last 29 minutes with me, really speaking from the heart, and that because I know you personally. And so I hope anybody listening really can feel the heart of NorthStar, coming through your speakers, coming through your screen, because he's just he's real as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. He's as real as it gets. So, as we look to wrap up our first time together, because it won't be the last. I'm determined to get you back on the show. You got so much more to offer.
I'm with it, man.
I want to make sure that we let the people know how to find you. So, at the moment, if you're watching on video, I'm bringing up a series of links. You said we call this man a self-described serial entrepreneur. Friday Viral is just one of his businesses. So we've actually got a handful of links up here on the screen. You can pause right here and you know, if any of these things interest you, but I'll actually let him speak to what he's got going on. So go ahead.
Okay, so as you've seen on the screen, my name title is NorthStar, the $7 entrepreneur. When I say I'm the $7 entrepreneur, I just really that's a way for me to get the $7 entrepreneur name out. But what $7 entrepreneur is it's a 36-minute video I sell for $7 that teaches you 3 core principles that you need in order to progress and succeed in your business. And it's for entrepreneurs, but anybody can use these principles to help advance themselves with whatever they're doing. Okay. And I sell it for $7 because I want the barrier of entry to be extremely easy without people having to really think about it. You know what I mean? And they're going to get something of immense value that's going to carry on with them for the rest of their life, even if this is all they use, you know? So it's something that I use every single day. And as you can see from the way that I talk and what I'm talking about, this is a part of that. Now, here's the thing. Everything that you see on here, $7 Entrepreneur, Learn How to Get Rich Online, Friday Viral Crypto, and How Will Smith Broke the Internet, you can Google search all of those, right? And they will come up. The only one that you might have difficulty finding is Learn How to Get Rich Online, because it's kind of a common name in a way. So if you put Learn How to Get Rich Online, free ebook, it will take you directly to that. Okay, so it won't be hard for you to find, you know, that at all, because it's an instant download pretty much. It'll take you to the page. You can read it online, or you can actually download it itself. And as you see, this is everything that I have to offer to you right now. And before we end this, How Will Smith Broke the Internet, I'm just let y'all know. Okay, it's a very clever way for me to reach and continue to build my audience, and it's all based around the Oscar slap between Will Smith and Chris Rock, right? I know that's like, what? Like, yeah, but it's a real thing, and it's gonna be around for a while, so that's why I jumped into it. And if you watch any of those videos, you'll see that I have the $7 Entrepreneur, like it's like a brief mini ad in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real clever way. And so far, it's like 1,742 subscribers to the channel so far in the time frame since it happened back in March. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that. As you guys can see, these are all the ways to get in touch. Check out some of the content that NorthStar is offering. He's added an immense amount of value in the last 30 minutes as a guest on the Brothers of Influence podcast, episode 1 of season 3. We're so thankful that you took some time to rock out with us, North. Any final words?
Oh yeah, one last thing. If you want to contact me, the best way to do that is you can go to the my Friday Viral Crypto page, or How Will Smith Broke the Internet. That's the one I'm most active on right now, is How Will Smith Broke the Internet, because I publish like almost every day on that. So you can reach me through email on any of those, and also $7 Entrepreneur on YouTube. So it's contacts everywhere if you want to get in contact with me. And one thing too, I want to tell everybody as the last word, and this is a very powerful thing. Recognize and honor your own brilliance. Recognize and honor your own brilliance. And to define that, what that means is, don't doubt yourself because others may not agree with an idea that you have. Don't downplay your own ideas just because it may seem too big, or maybe in your viewpoint mediocre to pursue. So recognize that you came up with it, and honor yourself that you are brilliant, and not only brilliant, but you're brilliant enough to make it come to fruition. So that's what that means by recognize and honor your own brilliance. That's it.
You've been rocking with the Brothers of Influence podcast, where we stand to encourage, inspire, and add value in the areas of life, leadership, and community. You have had the privilege of hearing from our special guest for episode 1 of season 3, NorthStar, Antoine North, native of Gary, Indiana, Navy vet, serial entrepreneur, CEO of Friday Viral. Man of many gifts, talents, and skills. Wisdom to the brim. Listen, check out his links. $7 Entrepreneur. Check out the free ebook, Learn How to Get Rich Online. Friday Viral Crypto. Listen, wherever you tap in, you're gonna get something good. So, thank you for rocking with us. We look forward to connecting with you in episode 2. We're excited about our next guest, but today it's all about NorthStar. Thank you for being with us, NorthStar.
All right, you're welcome, and thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it, especially being the first of season 3. That is huge, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't have had it any other way, man.
All right.
Sign it off, people. We love y'all.
All right.
Peace.
See you. Peace.